Okay, here on Record Collector Magazine, gives me great pleasure talking to John Corabi, lead singer of Dead Daisies.
How are you?
Fine, thank you, and how are you, more importantly?
Good.
You just started the UK tour. I think you've only played like Glasgow and London last night. How's that been going for you?
It's been amazing. We're all a bit overwhelmed. Like this trip, we just got word from our management. I don't know how many total shows we're doing in the UK, but every one of them sold out.
Yeah.
And so, thank you. It's been amazing.
You got a new album, Burn It Down, which I believe at the moment in midweek charts is at number 14, so that's pretty good going.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
I had no idea. So is that like the rock charts?
The main national charts.
Oh, seriously?
Yeah, the charts get announced on Friday, but at the moment you're in 14th position, so it's looking good.
Hopefully with a bullet.
And the band itself, Dead Daisies, you feel like a gang of travelling gypsies, if you don't mind me saying that, because you've all got a history behind you.
Yes. It's, you know what, I gotta be honest with you, like, still to this day, like, I sit here and I pinch myself, you know, because obviously, if you know my history, I did the Scream, and then got the phone call of all phone calls, changed my life.
We talked about it.
Elevated to Motley, and then it's like, you know, I did Union, and I've been busy, you know, but for some reason now, all of a sudden, like, everybody has just latched on to the Daisies. And I mean, I get it. We have Doug Aldridge, Mark Mendoza, Deen Castronovo, David, and myself. But it's really growing quickly, and I'm kind of sitting here now going, man, this is insane. Like, I haven't done this much press since I was in Motley, so I'm kind of, no pun intended, a bit resurrected. You know what I mean? Like, I'm getting a second go around.
Is it a band where, because of all your history, is it a band where you can all learn from each other?
This band is it's really awesome. I mean, it goes without saying, like, everybody in the band, Doug, Marco, Dean, everybody's so freaking talented. The writing part has been incredibly, without sounding weird, it's been easy. But we've all done this now so long that in a band situation, we've kind of figured out, like, even when we disagree, it's not like back in the day where it's like, you know, fisticuffs and, you know, all this other stuff. So, you know, we're all older, we're all wiser, we're all toned down quite a bit. We're married with kids and some of us grandkids, you know what I mean? So we've kind of figured it out, and we're applying it all to this.
Do you enjoy it more now than, say, back in the day?
Yeah, I just think in a different manner. Like, when I was here, like in England, the first time I was here was with the Scream, and we did an amazing show at the Astoria Theater, and we were all just so young. None of us had been here before, and it was one of those things where we just didn't want to go to sleep. We thought we were going to miss something. And, you know, I mean, staying up till 6 o'clock in the morning, just drinking with fans and, you know, getting through the next day, whatever. But this time now, like, I think all of us, like I was saying earlier, we're wiser. So we know how the music industry has changed. And I think we're all just enjoying this, and we're just very grateful and appreciative of the fact that we're still here, all of us, 30 years into our careers, and having fun. You know what I mean?
I know you just mentioned, like, you're all married and got children. So how do you balance the family life with the rock and roll life where you are touring around the world? So obviously you must miss your children.
Well, I've been married 3 times, if that helps with anything, and a lot of it's got to do with the fact that you're gone so much.
Yeah.
I have a beautiful wife now. We don't have any children, but I have children from previous marriages. But it is hard. You know, it's like this tour, for example. We started April 6th or something in Glasgow.
Yep.
And we're literally going until mid-December. So April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. 9 months of the year. And now we get to go home and brief things, but it's like, you know.
Do you get a chance to wind down? You do get those brief moments to go home. Do you wind down, or are you?
Yeah, I mean, the cool thing with my wife is she knows, like, she'll usually, she owns her own business, so she'll take a day off. She'll come home and hang out with me, like, the first day. And then she knows, she's like, okay, like, we'll go out, we'll have a date night, then, you know, right when I get home. And then she's like, all right, I'm going to go back to work and just relax, you know, and, you know, so it's cool. My kids now are all grown up, so they're all married and they got kids, and, you know, so...
Have you recommended the rock and roll lifestyle to them?
My son is actually my drummer in my solo band, so he's following in my footsteps, unfortunately, or fortunately, however way you want to look at it.
Yeah.
But he's a great kid. My daughter's amazing. You know, so, but they're all grown, so I don't have to worry about the kid thing anymore. And now my wife and I you know, we're home. We just do little remodeling projects in our house together. Her and I will go out to dinner. We'll go have some cocktails, and then I own it's like a tour bus actually. And my wife and I will be, you know, if I have a couple weeks off, she'll go, let's go to the beach. We'll load the dog into the RV and we'll just drive and find a RV park and just hang out on the beach.
Excellent, that's nice.
Pretty cool.
That's nice. Let's go back to the band. Dead Daisies, got a new member, Deen Castronovo. Drummer, but also a great singer.
Yes.
You know, he stepped in the shoes of Steve Perry in some ways with Journey. So, you know, is that a bit of competition for you? You know, he's a fabulous singer.
You know, honestly, I don't believe in that. You know, I got to be honest with you. Like, a lot of the bands that I grew up admiring, you know, love Queen, 3 singers.
You're right, actually, yeah.
Even Aerosmith. Steven does most of the singing, but it wasn't unusual for Joe Perry to do something like Bright Light Fright, or, you know, whatever. So I'm not against it, man. I think at some point it would be great to have Deen belt something out. Maybe I just play guitar, you know what I mean? But the thing that excites me at this moment is the backing vocals have just gotten so massive. Now I got Doug. Before it was just me doing leads and Dean and Doug and Marco.
Yeah.
Now we have the 3 backing vocals, so it's really awesome.
Takes it to another level, totally.
Yes.
And, the album Burn It Down. Is there any personal favourite songs of yours on there?
Anyway,
What's your favourite songs on the album?
my favorite?
Yeah.
You know, it's weird. Like, every day I'll get up and I'll go, well, today it's this one. You know, I'll wake up the next day and it's that one, you know? So it's hard. But I think, overall, I love the energy and the message in Resurrected.
Yep.
Especially for Dean and I. You know, a couple of years ago, Dean had some issues.
He's getting used for the wrong reasons, and you've given him a second chance, your band has.
Had a bullseye on his back, and I mean, he'll be the first to tell you, like, he's like, I didn't think I was ever going to work again. And to be honest with you, I kind of went through a moment like that after Motley, where I thought, was that the opportunity? Is that the best, like, you know, the best it's ever going to be?
Yeah.
And, you know, now here we are, you know, we're doing the Daisies. He's grateful to be here. I'm grateful to be here. But at the end of the day, we just kind of wrote this song. It's like a polite way of going, I'm not going anywhere.
Exactly.
I'm happy. And we're still here kicking ass, and people still care to see us. You know what I mean? So it's awesome.
And I think one of the great things about Dead Daisies, great live band. You're not afraid to tackle quite a few live numbers. Even last night there was a little medley of Highway to Hell, Smoking the Wall, A Whole Lot of Love and everything. But on the album itself, you've done a Bitch by the Rolling Stones, and for the Japanese extra track, Beatles Revolution. 2 of the biggest bands in rock, really, Beatles and Rolling Stones. Are you big fans of them yourself?
Yeah, I love music. You know, and I hate. First of all, I hate the fact that I have a lot of friends that used to go, "Yeah, man, I wasn't a Beatles fan. I was more of a Stones guy," or "I was more of a Beatles guy. I didn't really dig the Stones." I'm like,
there's a lot of that. Yeah.
Are you a fucking moron? Like, how can you not like both bands? And I really hate now, like, all these categories and everything. There's like all these like genres and subgenres and sub-subgenres, and I'm like, man, I just grew up listening to music. I love Zeppelin. I used to love Joan Baez. I used to love Yes, Aerosmith, Jay Giles. You know, I liked everything. Frank Sinatra. I liked Glenn Campbell. You know what I mean? Why? You know what I mean? And I just don't understand the whole. You know.
When I spoke to Ryan Roxy yesterday, we had the very same conversation actually.
Yeah.
Because on this new album, he's done a Coldplay cover, and we were saying like rock fans are very loyal, they're very sort of blink, you know, they like their rock, they don't like thinking out the box. And there's so much music out there to be explored.
Yeah, it's just sad to me. Like, you know, there's this giant umbrella. It's called music. You know what I mean? And I don't understand the whole concept of you can only use part, or you can only listen to, you know, or it's not cool. You know, if you like that, you're just not cool. You know what I mean?
But yeah, there's a good song's a good song, and a good melody is a good melody.
And not even that. Like, even if I don't think that the song is good, if a band goes out and writes a song that I don't quite understand, and they sell 1 million copies of it, you gotta respect them to some degree. 1 million other, so I was the only guy that didn't get it. 1 million other people didn't. So there's something about that song that's striking a nerve with all these people.
What was the first record you bought yourself as a young child?
Oh God, Abbey Road.
That was Abbey Road Beatles, yeah. And what about most recently? Is there anything you took with your fancy lately?
Actually, I find myself, because I'm an idiot, basically when the whole CD movement started coming in, I probably had 3,000 or 4,000 vinyl records, and I gave them away.
Ouch.
Because I'm like, oh. You know, and it wasn't even, it was more about the fact that you couldn't find parts for the, like the needles for the record players anymore. They were becoming so obsolete, you couldn't find parts. And I'm like, well, I guess I just fucking spent all this money on it, you know, now it's, so I got rid of everything.
Did you sell them or just give them away?
I just gave them away. And now I find myself buying the vinyl again of the same records that I had when I was younger. So the last record, it was actually 2 albums. I just bought Sabbath, Masters of Reality, and Grand Funk Weird American Band. I'm like, I'm such a moron. I had both of these. I had the entire catalogs of both artists, and I just gave them away. So.
And when you do go back to this vinyl, because obviously you heard them on vinyl years ago, and over the years you might have heard it on computer or download, whatever. When you go back to the vinyl, does it sound better?
I just love the fact, I don't know, to me, it just sounds warmer. Warm, organic. And it's still like, I love when you put the needle on, you got this, and just that crackle until the song starts, man. It's like, I miss that. You know what I mean?
That was a wonderful sound.
Like, you know, I was doing an interview, and somebody was talking about, like, just different memories you have to different songs and music. And I'm like, man, I totally remember, like, sitting in my son's mother, my first ex-wife, and just sitting there smoking a joint and, you know, taking a half of a Quaalude and putting on, like, you know, side 4 of Zeppelin and Dark Side of the Moon, and just sitting there and getting our groove on. But hearing that crackle in between the songs, I'm like, oh, this is so cool. I don't know. I miss it. So I'm happy it's coming. It's making a little.
It's coming back, yeah. More importantly, younger generations are getting back into vinyl.
What is this? It's like a giant platter.
Still the subject of vinyl in your record collection. What was your 5 favourite albums? I imagine that'd be the first five that come to your mind, really.
Abbey Road would be one of them.
Yeah.
Physical Graffiti.
Led Zeppelin, yeah.
Yep. Abbey Road, Physical Graffiti. I mean, I love all of the Aerosmith stuff, but I would have to say Rocks. They were at the pinnacle. Rocks.
That's the dirtiest album there.
Yeah, but it was like they were just they just seemed to be clicking on all cylinders. I love Grand Funk Caught in the Act. It's a live record, but it kind of spans their whole, and it's such a great recording. And then, man, it's the fifth. It's hard because I love Queen. Night at the Opera was a great album. I think that was a masterpiece. But I'm gonna actually go with David Bowie, Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust.
Oh, right, yeah.
Love that album. Just...
Was it the music or was it the concept of his...
Just everything.
Yeah.
It was everything. Like, I heard the songs, and I'm like, oh, this, you know, great. Mick Ronson's guitar work is sick on that record. You know, Hang On To Yourself, and just all those tunes. But then you looked at the covers, or the pictures, and I was like... Oh, this dude is just on some whole other level of. I mean, I was a kid. I don't even know what the fuck I'm looking at right now. But it's amazing. And you see little video clips or whatever, like grainy video clips, and you're like, fuck, he was just amazing, just a genius.
Did you ever see him live?
No, my ex-wife did, and. He actually, I grew up in Philadelphia, he actually recorded his live album at the Tower Theater. And I remember standing outside trying to get in, and, you know, but he was kind of moved on. He was in that whole Thin White Duke era, you know what I mean? But I just remember seeing those photos. Like, I got Ziggy, the Ziggy album, and then I went back and, you know, like Pinups and Space Oddity, and, you know, and I was just like, I was just so obsessed. Like, Bowie's the one that kind of taught me. I kind of figured out that it's really important is the music, but the visual part is just as important. And even if I'm not even if you're not as outlandish or crazy as Bowie was, I think most people that come to see bands, even like us, have this perception, and to a degree it's true, like, we're just kind of saying fuck you to society. No, I ain't cutting my hair. Oh, by the way, I'm getting covered in tattoos, and I'm going to pierce myself, and I'm going against the grain. And I think that somehow that Bowie thing kind of struck that thing with me.
I must say about Dead Daisies, actually, the whole band, you are, all of you are very visual. You know, it's not just about playing the instruments, it's also about looking the part on the stage, being in the right place at the right time. You know, 1 minute you might be standing next to Marco, then you'll be standing next to Dean. You know, you're constantly on the move and throwing the shapes.
Yeah, it's not...
Because it is a visual experience as well, isn't it?
There's some things that you figure out, but it's really loose. I mean, it's honestly, there's no like stage choreography or anything like that. The one thing that I will say is, like, I know, like, I'm in the middle, I'm doing the thing, I'm getting the point across, but then when Doug or David has to do a part, I go in the back and I sit with Dean and hang out with him, and him and I all sit there and talk. Oh, I gotta go sing. See you, bye. I'll see you in a minute. I get back up and I do my thing. And, you know, there's that. It's like, I've had my moment in the light, and I go, Doug, you know,
everyone shines the spotlight, yeah, exactly.
And, you know, I think you kind of figure it out as you go.
And one subject we must talk about, we sort of mentioned it earlier, and I'm sure you get asked about this all the time. You did get to join one of the biggest rock bands in America of all time. You know, you got a phone call from Nicky Six to step in to take the place of Phil Fitznell with Motley Crue. And what was that like when you first got that phone call in the first place?
I thought, I honestly, I was like, is this happening right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I had called earlier just to thank them for a plug that they gave the Scream in an interview. So I called, I left my number, and literally like minutes later, phone rings. My wife answered, I'm walking out the door, hello, it's for you. I go, no, I'm leaving, get a number. No, I think you should take this call. So I get on the phone, I go, hello. And it was Tommy and Nikki. Dude, it's Tommy Lee, Nikki Sixx. You know, we're talking. And by the end of the conversation, they had told me that Vince was out and they wanted me to come down. Like this was a Friday, they wanted me to come Monday. And I'm just sitting there going, you know, this is huge. And then I was like, oh shit, I don't know any of their songs. And so I called Nikki back on Saturday. I go, hey, there will be lyrics there, right? Yeah. We'll take it. And I went down on an audition, and I never in a million years thought I'd get it because, I mean, I was a fan, but I wasn't. Because I wasn't, like if you ask me about humble pie or questions or, you know, trivia, I can tell you, I didn't know anything about Motley. I just knew the songs that I had heard on the radio, and that was it. If you would have named an album cut, I couldn't even tell you anything. So, and it was funny, like 2 years later, we'd already done the record, we're getting ready to go on tour, and we're putting a set list together, and Tommy goes, well, I think Crab, he's the singer, he should pick what he wants to sing. What do you want to sing, dude? And I go, can I get your record so I can listen to everything and kind of let you know? And they're like, you don't have any of our records? I go, no. And then Tommy goes, have you ever seen us live? And I'm like, no. So they were like, you know, and they were giving me grief, not grief, like in a joking manner. Yeah. But they're like, well, why are you not a fan of the band? I go, it's not that I wasn't a fan. Yeah, I love Feel Good and I love the songs that I saw on MTV. But I go, I was more into the 70s stuff, like Humble Pie and Free. And,
which they were themselves, funny enough.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So I said, it's still to this day, if you look at my record collection on my entire catalog of Queen, Deep Purple, Led Zeppelin, The Beatles, Aerosmith, you know, yes. Yeah. I'm like, I just didn't get it. Like a lot of the stuff in the 80s.
Do you remember what songs you rehearsed with Motley Crue? You did the audition?
The ones I auditioned?
Yeah.
Helter Skelter, Jailhouse Rock, Smoking in the Boys' Room.
Oh, three covers, yeah.
And then we did Feel Good, Shout at the Devil, and Don't Go Away Mad.
Oh, good choices. And obviously the album was called Motley Crue, even though it was their fifth album. It didn't set the world alike like people were expecting. I thought it was a fantastic album. I bought it out, bought it on the day release, but it was a long time, it was grunge.
Should have been called Motley Crue.
Yeah, I was about to ask you that.
And we honestly didn't want to call it Motley Crue. The band, Nikki, Tommy, Mick, and I were trying to find a name for the band. The problem was, they just signed a massive record deal with Elektra. Elektra was like, no, we just gave you $40 million to be Motley Crue. You're going to be Motley Crue. Management, booking agents, all the people that usually have their hand out at the end of the tour, they were like, you can't change the name of the band.
At the end of the day, it's like a brand. It's a brand name.
Well, yeah, it's a brand name. But they were looking at it like, if you change the name of the band, you're going to go from making $500,000 a night to $50,000 a night. And we don't like that. That's our income as well. So they talked us into it. And it was hilarious because at the end of the day, a year later when the record, you know, all this whatever happened, everybody was like, I probably should have changed the name of the band. I'm like, wait, you told us, you know.
Yeah. How did you feel when it did go wrong? Did you think, oh, this is the end of my career? Was it like winning the lottery and you couldn't cash the ticket in?
Well, you see, you got to understand, from my point of view, I had a gold record. Gold to them was horrible.
Yeah.
Gold to me, it was a step up. I'm like, awesome.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. They were hitting the panic buttons. I wasn't worried about anything, you know. But it was also, that was the kiss of death, because they were freaking out about it, and they started thinking, you know,
because you did stop working on a Generation Swine album yourself, didn't you? You stopped, right,
then they were like, we got to do something more current. We got to do, you know. They started to look at things like, oh, you know, all these other bands are in, oh, you know, and at that point, even from the time I joined to when we started Generation Swine, it had gone from like grunge to even more like 9 Inch Nails, more of a heavy industrial thing. And they were freaking out. They're like, we got to do something current, and, you know, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really care for Generation Swine. I thought, I love the guys. I loved the songs when we first wrote them. I didn't like the outcome. And I thought that there was, you know, I think, you know, whoever had the final say on the record, they were trying too hard to be current. Just do what you do.
Exactly, stick to what you do naturally, yeah. But the Motley Crue album is one that's fondly remembered now. You know, it's come like a cult classic in some ways.
It's still very polarizing though, because I just did my solo band. I just did a record in America. I did it like 2 years ago. I recorded. I was doing shows. I won the Live 94, and we played it live. We did one show in Nashville, and we released it. And it's funny, like still there's, you know, some clips on YouTube, or there's some reviews on the record, and there's some fans that are like, oh my God, this is great, thank you so much for doing a live record. Now we at least get to hear what it sounded like live. And then there's others that are like, dude, you know, why don't you do something original? Like, you're still riding on Motley's coattails. And I'm like, okay. Obviously, you don't realize that I've done, you know, 3 Union records. I've done a couple solo records, and I've done 4 records with the Dead Daisies. And I just threw this, you know, whatever.
I think it's fair to say now, though, at this stage in your career, you are known as the lead singer of Dead Daisies rather than Motley Crue. I think you've surpassed that now.
But that's you know what, I don't worry about it. Like, that's the thing, like, I'm not planning anything. Like, life happens as it happens. I have a tattoo here on my neck, and it says, life is as it should be. I don't worry about anything. Like, somebody goes, or, you know, do the Motley. I go, you know what, I'm not going to do it. I'm just going to, you know what, let's just record it. We'll put it out there. I wanted to come over here in Europe, and, you know, but it's so much politics and bullshit. I go, you know what, just record one show. We'll do a record, and I'll just put it out there. Anybody wants to hear what it sounded like, they've got it. It's there for prosperity.
Obviously, Motley Crue is split up, but obviously you're busy with Dead Daisies, and, you know, like a lot of musicians these days can work in 2 bands at the same time. Hypothetically, if you got a phone call from Nicky and said, do you want to work with me, Tommy, and Mick again, would you be up for that?
Nope.
Nope? It's quite a affirmative answer.
No, there's, why? You know, we did what we did the first time. And at the end of the day, Motley Crue is Tommy, Nicky, Mick, and Vince. I kind of didn't see it when I was going in. You know, it took me a few years. I figured it out. I bought the shirt. I own the shirt. I had the shirt. I'm fine being the little asterisk next to the name. Let's just leave it that way. You know, let's move on. You know what I mean?
No, you just picked up something just now. We're talking about the well-being of life. What is the secret to happiness in life?
Yeah, it's good. Family. Yeah. I honestly, I learned a very valuable lesson in Motley. And when I was in the band, everybody wanted to give me shit. Guitars, clothing, everybody wanted me to come to the party. Everybody wanted me to do this, do that, do that. And then as soon as Motley let me go,
the phone didn't ring.
All the endorsements, I lost all the endorsements, all the clothing companies, all this stuff, all the shit out the window. And the only thing that was there for me was my family. I figured it out.
But you can't put a price on.
You know what? I got my health.
Yeah.
I've still managed to make a living and move forward in my career. I've done solo records. I've done stuff with Union. I'm now in the Daisies. And oddly enough, things are coming back, you know, a little more high profile. But I was always happy. I was always able to pay my bills. I was always able to take care of my kids. And I was always able to go on a vacation or two every now and then with my wife. Life is good.
Yeah, life's good.
Life's good.
Excellent. John's been fabulous talking to you. Dead Daisies, the album, Burn It Down, is out now.
Yes, it is.
You're on UK tour, and no doubt we'll see it at some festival somewhere.
We're a pub in the neighborhood.
Yeah. John's been fabulous talking to you. All the best for the future. Thank you.